Hi guys, and welcome to today's task. For today's task, I have set up a demonstration on how to wire a four-way switch. If you haven't seen my video about how to wire a three-way switch, I will link it in the description below. Go check it out. But this is a four-way switch and they're not much different. The thing to keep in mind is that you need three-way switches and four-way switches in order to wire them. And when it comes to wiring them, I really like to, if you have the ability to, lay it out in a series. My power will come in with my plug. It will come through a switch, through another switch, through another switch, and then finally to my light bulb. I like to lay it out that way. That way I don't get confused when I'm looking in my junction boxes and figuring things out. I know exactly how it's got to be. These two boxes are going to be wired pretty much the exact same, and this one will be wired for the four-way. This is going to be a four-way switch because there are 3 or more switches. If I wanted to do, say, 6 switches, I don't know why you would, but if you wanted to, it would be the same way. You would just have to use a 3-way to begin with, a 3-way to end with, and 4 ways in all the other ones in between. Since we're only having 3 turn-off locations, I need 2 3-way switches and 1 4-way switch, if that makes any sense. It makes sense when you look at the boxes. Inside these boxes, I've tied all the grounds together, tied the neutrals together because that's how it works. And then all that you're left with are your hots. In this box, there is a hot that's coming into the light switch and 2 hots coming in between the box. So with 3 hots, I need a 3-way switch. This box, there are 2 hots coming in, 2 hots going out, so I need a 4-way switch. This box, there are 2 hots going out, 1 hot coming in, so I need a 3-way switch. All of our switches have already been connected to their ground, so we're done, and they've already been stripped and bent. So I just want to show you what we're going to be working with. In this box, you have a black and a red that are our 14 3-wire, and they're going out. And then on our 14 2-wire, it's coming in. Our neutrals are already taken care of, so I've done as much preliminary work as possible. Now it's just a matter of getting these wires squared away, and I think that's the question most people have. First wire we're going to deal with is our power coming in. This will be my first hot, and it is actually called your common. So you look on the back of your switch, and it will actually say common right there. And then you have these 2 brass ones, which I like to call them your runners. So first off, let's attach our common. Do make sure that your power is turned off. Now that we've got our common attached, it is time to run our runners. Now, I like to have some organization to this. I want to make sure my runners are uniform going over, because that's what happens is sometimes they get crisscrossed, and that's where things get messed up a little bit. So just keep in mind, on this switch where I've got a common already, that's a black, I'm going to put the other black on that side as well, just so it's simple to remember. And then this last brass screw is my next runner, or my red. I'm going to leave that kind of like that for right now until we know our circuit is good. Now we have our next box in line. Same thing, our neutrals are all connected already, our ground is already connected, and then we have our 4-way switch. And if you notice, there are 4 screws. I want to identify these wires. These 2 are the travelers that are coming from this switch, and these 2 are the travelers that are going to this next 3-way switch. Here's how a 4-way switch works. You have your input and then you have your output. These are our input, these are our output. And you have to be really careful here, because if you're not paying attention to this diagram, it will be wired incorrectly. Sometimes the inputs are on both sides and the outputs are on the other side. But on this one, the input is on the top and the output is on the bottom. So I need to put a black and a red on the top and a black and a red on the bottom. And so I'm going to start with this one. And what I like to do is work on this wire. I only want to do these 2 at first, just so it's really easy and is clear. Okay, inputs are done. Now, I want to follow the same color code I did and put the other black, my output black, on this side, and my output red on the same side as the other red. And we did the same thing over here on this three-way switch. This common on this three-way switch happens to be the one going into our bulb because the common goal, again, is to get power from this common to this common. So we know our first common is coming in, our last common is going out, and the two travelers are the middleman. Now we're gonna connect power and see if it works before we kind of set these switches back down. You guys, we have power connected, and now it's the time to see if our switches work. If they work, all of these can turn the light on and all of them can turn it off. That's amazing. We got power. And it turned it off. Now here's the hard part. It turns it on. Guys, that is how you wire a four-way switch. If you haven't seen the three-way switch, I will link it down below. I encourage you to really pay attention in the video because a lot of people just look at the diagram, and the diagrams online will show you the wires not going in the way this switch is. So pay attention to the switch that you're using for your four-way switch and make sure the inputs are the two coming in and the outputs are the two going out. Guys, this is the simplest layout for four-way switches, and it's the only way I do mine, if I can help it at all. Especially with new construction, you have control over that. If you guys are struggling with this wiring, comment down below what you did to figure it out, and if you have questions, leave them down below and I'll try to answer them the best that I can. Sometimes this is the simplest layout, but not all electricians lay it out this way. Sometimes they've got the power and the light switch going into one box, and then you've got to set up the travelers from there. That gets a little bit tricky, and that takes a little bit of time to diagnose. So if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if you want to see how I'm going to implement these four-way switches in the electrical outline of this house, click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our videos. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Hey, that works pretty good. Now let's see if it turns off. All right, let's see if this one works. Well, that should be doing something.